And Gus Frerotte is here. And I'll jump out. Let's start there, Gus. Thanks, man. Good to see you, by the way, and Happy New Year. Bills,
Happy New Year, Rod.
Bills at Dolphins Sunday. Hey, Buffalo favored on the road here in Miami Sunday night by 2.5. Your thoughts on how this season has come down to this final game of the regular year in the whole league here Sunday night? What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Is to have some equal play so that at the end of the season, it all comes down to one of these big games. And that's why every game is so important. These guys have been playing all year. They're playing 17 games. They're putting in the time. And just to see it come down to Tua and Bill's quarterback. You can help me out with that one.
Josh Allen, yeah.
Josh Allen. And, just to see them go out and battle and these two teams and to think that it's not the Patriots anymore, it's just great to see this ending.
Okay, well, yeah, what are your thoughts on the way the Dolphins have kind of come unraveled a little bit? Like, are you a believer? They're 1-4 against teams with winning records. 1-4. Are teams better than them?
I don't know. My really good friend coaches the receivers there. And, they have been up and down. And I think sometimes they rely too much on their passing game because they have such a strong running game. It's going to be interesting to see what they do against the Bills. You got Mostert and A-Chain back there that they should just be running the ball. I feel like that's going to, and hopefully their defense can hold up against Josh Allen. If I'm playing the Bills, I'm making him run. I'm not letting him throw. I feel like that's a winning combination against the Bills. So we'll see what Coach McDaniels comes up with, but they'll have a good game plan, and I think it's going to be a great way to end the season.
I never forgot that you are a huge fan of Lamar Jackson, so I'm wondering if you're surprised at all that they have locked up the number one seed in the AFC. They got the Steelers in there this weekend. Did it surprise you at all what the Ravens pulled out in this regular season?
It has, because it seems like every year the Ravens go through a lot of injuries, doesn't it? It seems like they always have big injuries. They lost Mark Andrews. Then all of a sudden Isaiah Likely steps in and has been incredible. They've added some receivers, but not they got Odell Beckham, but he's at the end of his game. So it's just been great to see what Lamar keeps doing year after year. And people want to say, well, look at his numbers. They're not what the other guys are and all this, but the guy wins, and you can't tackle him. I mean, if you're one-on-one with a guy, you're probably not. You don't have a good chance of bringing him down. And he's made some unreal throws. He's reading the field really well. And I think their coach, what they've done with their new coach from their last offensive coach, has really put them in a good place to be well, because their defense has always been good. They always bring in guys that you don't know of, and they play really well. And that whole division just has been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I think they call it the black and blue division for a reason. Carlos in Indianapolis is watching, and he wants to know your take, Gus, on our poll question today, which is who goes further in the playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys or the Miami Dolphins? How would you answer that?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I'd like to say... I'd like to say the Dolphins, but I don't know, because the Cowboys, what have they shown us in the playoffs in the last, 20 years? They get there, they have these incredible teams, they have a lot of talent, but then they get to the playoffs and they lose the big games. And we've seen that in the last couple of weeks from them. So I don't know. I think it's the same thing with Tua, right? We want to see him win that big game against a winning team. What do they do in the playoffs? So for me, right now, talent-wise, I think it's Dallas's defense. And, if I'm going off what everybody always says about the NFL, you have to have a defense to win a championship. And I think Dallas's defense is a little bit better than Miami's.
There you go. I agree with you. And as a Cowboys fan, I certainly hope that you're right. Before I pick your brain more, can you tell our audience about alumnimedia.com and the NFL alum and what they're doing in the podcast space?
Yeah, so we built a company called Alumni Media, and right now I have a bunch of guys that have their own channels. We help them build their own channel, build their brand, and we support them on the back end by, all this crazy technology, just like Clark helps you bring all these guys in. We want to give these guys the opportunity to tell their stories. So what we build is basically a Netflix for anybody to go through, scroll through these channels, watch guys come on, do their shows, and the place to kind of view all this content, which everybody's doing. And then we really take that content and help these guys understand how to use social media, because that's a big part of it. So alumnimedia.com, anyone can go there. You can join. We're teaching guys how to have a Shopify account. We're teaching guys how to have a paywall. So if you want to have a private watch party, and let's say that, Bernie Kosar's on there, I'm telling Bernie all the time, hey, you can have a watch party. People can come join it, and it's private, and you let people in that you want, you know what I mean? Like, so there's different ways that our guys can kind of generate revenue and different things like that. And most of them are really excited about it. So alumnimedia.com is right now, it's mostly NFL alumni, but in the future, it's going to be all alumni, baseball, hockey. So any sport, Olympians, it can be for anyone. So that's what we're trying to build. And I'm really excited about it.
I can tell. It's fun stuff. Off the top of your head, can you tell me who's the most popular alumni? Who's got the most viewed show? Do you have those stats?
Well, podcast-wise, so Marcus Ogden, I helped him start podcasting, quite a few years ago, and now his show is top, 0.5% in world globally. Like, he has just been killing. He does a business show and does life coaching and helps people do their own podcast. So Mark, he's Jonathan's brother, and he does a great show. Obviously, anytime Bernie tweets or, get him to go live and talk about what he's doing, Bernie Kosar is one of the names that everybody recognizes from, being in the NFL, and he is just adored by everybody in Cleveland, right? So it's great to see Bernie, and we have incredible shows. Ken Harvey, they have a You're Gonna Know show, which is about the, Washington. We have guys doing the Expressway. They're doing about the Giants, and we have a Packers show. So everybody's a little different, but I would say right now that a lot of people are watching Marcus. People just want good content, and most of the time it's just real content. Our guys are just like I am right now. They can record it. They can do it from anywhere, and they're comfortable. We don't have to put them in a studio, and they actually love it. I actually enjoy it when a guy is in front of his wall at home, and it's all his trophies and things that he accomplished throughout his career. I really enjoy watching those shows when they're doing them from their house.
And as you know, players are good guys like yourself. Like I'm doing a Panthers show here in South Florida on the NHL team. And I asked the people here, who do you want the most on the show? They said, we want Peter Worrell, the 6'7" fighter. I'm like, Peter, can you come on? The fans want you. He's like, yeah, he's there right away. It was great. And the people want to hear from the people that know what they're talking about, the players that have been there. So good for you, man. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, I want you to interview Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, well, not easy to get Matt Chucky, I'll tell you that. He's one of them. Until Messi showed up and Tyreek Hill, Chucky was like the most popular athlete in South Florida. I'm telling you, man, they love him. Yeah. They absolutely love him. Hey,
well, his dad, Big Wall, is great.
Media, getting bigger. What is your take on Pat McAfee's success in this perilous trade?
Well, I think that's just it, right? We're not alumni media is about everyone, right? And my goal was to bring everyone in, not have it named after somebody, because if the Mannings don't show up, the whole thing's over, right? Nobody's taking their place. We wanted to create something for everyone to have a voice, to be able to tell their stories. And you never know where that diamond in the rough is going to come from. And Pat, everybody knew him as a punter. They didn't know that probably guys that played with him knew his personality and what he was like. And then all of a sudden he comes on, he's expressing his opinions. He has a great personality on there. People love it. Everybody's watching him, and he just explodes. And that's what that's what my hopes and dreams are. We're going to be bringing people in from all walks of life. You never know who's going to be the next Pat McAfee. And hopefully at Alumni Media, we can find that person. And that can be like that. There's not a million Pat McAfees out there, but, hopefully we can help somebody be a Pat McAfee down the road.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. He's done a good job. I had a small beef back and forth. He took a shot, I thought, at the CFL. It was kind of funny. But he's a good guy. He knows his stuff, and what he's doing is not easy. I'll end it on this. Denver at the Raiders, this whole Russell Wilson saga. You might have a different take on it than most. He's benched. He's getting the bag. What do you see is going on there in Denver with Russell Wilson?
Look, Russell's a competitor. I'm sure he wants to play, but also there's a contract that he signed, that they signed, and they said, okay, how do we get out of this? Well, we bench him, right? It's a business. So I see his side, those side. I mean, he's still making a ton of money, so I'm sure Russell's going to be fine if he walks away. I'm sure if they part ways, that somebody else will want Russell Wilson because he's a good player. He's proven he's a good player, and I don't know about as far as teammate goes. I've heard a lot of things. I haven't been out there in Denver following that. I've followed it maybe through Pat McAfee and what he said about Russell Wilson in his time in the locker room and having his own place. But it's kind of crazy to see. I've been cut from the Dolphins, and I was owed a lot of money, and there's nothing I can do, right? They cut me, and we don't have guaranteed contracts. He has a clause in there, protects him, and how do they get out? They're going to find a loophole, find a way, and that's what they got to do if they know that he's not the future for the Broncos.
So I guess he's not. Great game, crappy business, as they say. Gus, appreciate this. Always fun seeing you, man. All the best in 2024 and to your great family, man. Hope.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I love doing it. I love that you're, talking hockey in Miami and not in Saskatchewan.
How about that?
I like it too. Exactly. All right. Thank you, Gus. Appreciate you.
Right,
Pro Bowler Gus Frerotte from alumnimedia.com. Go check it out. That's the one thing that we know is the audience loves to hear from somebody who knows and has been there.